you have to at least have a plan in place. And they are going to start off with the Nautilus, which is being textbook response into that blue first pick, Zeri, the high mobility AD carry, having that point and click stun to pin it down.
I think, you know, a lot of our teams having an idea into what's taken to Zeri hasn't been successful most of the time, right? It's not always a good plan, but I think most of the time it's not. But this time with Tristana in the bottom lane, heavy emphasis on the bot lane again for OMG seems to be a theme. Yeah, and
this was like the original matchup. I remember like early on when we just saw Zeri released, it was like Tristana Nord was the answer. I actually love the Braum here. I think this is a fantastic pick. I was going to mention it, but unfortunately they beat me to it. When they jump on top of you, the only thing you can do to really prevent that Tristana stacking up the bomb is have the Braum there. You can block the application, you can block the stacking, you can block Tristana finally all in, and then you start applying the passive. It's a really hard lane for this Tristana and Nautilus just to take over. And suddenly it's gone from being, oh no, it's a counter lane to, that's fine. And now OMG have to try and work out what they're going to take here. Jungler would be the typical, right? Just answer what top esports have. But if there's something left open they want to prioritize, now is the time.
Creme thinking about the Corki mid instead of jungle though. Looking past the Yasuo. Creme is not an OTP Yasuo, but it's one of his favorites. He'll go past it for the Corki this time to, I guess, give a bit of stability this time, Aux.
Yeah, I think one thing to be mentioned is that the reason the Corki works a little bit here is look at top esports come so far. Jungler picked, support picked, no real primary engage. And Corki loves that. Corki wants to stand at max range and just fire rockets at the enemy team without getting jumped on. So does make sense in that regard. And obviously the mid pool's already been thinned. Ari, Silas, Talia all gone away from Knight. And you can see the Orianna wasn't quite having the same level of impact from what we've seen from Knight so far this split. Definitely felt like the pool pinching hurt him a bit.
Oh yeah, I mean, Knights are being a little bit more particular to split as well as we get the Talia ban. Lee Sin comes through as well on Aki. Now, Aki is someone who is willing to give up the Wukong this time around. As Swain, you talk about.
Maybe a ban
what
here?
Else?
Yeah, I feel like you could ban. They end up going for the Gwen, so Swain's still an option. Obviously, Swain wants to be in range of things, and Corki is longer range, but as long as he picks some engage via top, that could work. Regardless, top esports final ban. Looks like they might just go for the Shen away from Shanji. Yeah, I can get it.
Pockets. Yeah.
And now, for OMG, you probably just take your jungler here and then give counter pick to Shanji. Unless you want to take like something like Gnar and prioritize that here. I'm not sure if I would necessarily want to do that though. I feel like Shanji isn't that sort of player to just, I'm going to take Gnar in every scenario. In fact, he's actually going to take the Sejuanmi away from Wayward. So I expect here top esports probably going to take Gnar themselves, would make sense. And then we see what Knight is going to bring out in this scenario.
Maybe it is just standard, right? Maybe we do, for Wayward side at the very least, get the Gnar. You're questioning about Knight here.
Maybe the Vikto actually for Knight.
Oh god, I hope not. Orcs, if we see Vikto versus Corki, if we see Azir versus Corki, I'm just ready to say we're stuck in spring.
I don't mind Vikto as much because Vikto, like, you can actually pressure the lane. But Azir Corki would be boring. Swain, though, I said it wasn't banned, you know. I would kind of vibe with this, honestly. I feel like so many fun games have come from seeing Swain. Oh, why did I say it? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Hysterics. I kissed it. So, yeah. So.
And I hate this. Honestly, I hate that this gets flexed every time. People go, oh, it's open, but he won't pick it up. Orcs, Viego, Lee Sin. Okay, they're both taking it all. Oh, my God. Okay, Aki. I take it all back. We get Bel Veth. Please, 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 Orcs. Tell me how this integrates, because this Empress of the Void, Kaiser's grandmother, you know, like the owner of Vogue magazine, but the Void version. Tell me how this team functions with this late game scaling of a woman.
Well, I feel like they have like so much, like they have long range poke from the Corki, and then if you get up close to them, like the thing is, Aki can very quickly stack up Shanji's passive. You have Abel as well, who can quickly blow up any threats that get close. Like OMG can just play at range, and then if you funnel into them, they can honestly decimate. I am really hyped to see the Bel Veth. Obviously, we've seen Kanavi bring it out. Has that mobility in the early game, but can be a bit fickle, but does scale well. Has the E ability, 70% damage reduction for a short time. Even so, is kind of crazy. And I feel like, you know, you could play towards, you could just kind of play farm up. But if the Herald is a big factor, is something to note. For anyone who hasn't seen it, securing Herald is like the thing you need to do. even more extreme than like Shyvana securing dragons. So I want to see them prioritize towards that and see how they're going to make that work. But ultimately, I think top esports are happy with their lane matchups. They're going to have prio mid. They're going to have a comfortable bot lane matchup. They're going to have a comfortable top lane matchup. Laning is good for top esports. And they have a more active jungler in the early levels, I feel. Okay. But OMG are scary the further it gets into the game, I feel. And their 5v5 might be problematic.
It will, especially later on. I'm glad you brought up things like Herald, Rift, Herald, and even Dragon, right? Especially at the 6 point, getting that endless banquet coming through and being able to stay in the monster form. Aki with Bel Veth here. Tian, you cheeky devil, you. I get it. You're going up against a champion that a lot of people haven't been willing to play. Kanavi, the only one so far, Orcs. And now that Aki's here, how would you like to start this? I feel like we do need to talk about the elephant in the room, whatever the void equivalent of is that. We do need to talk a little bit about what Bel Veth does, the angle here. You talked about the scary of the game going on as she keeps stacking up those lavender stacks as well. And it's just a jungler that, I think we need to talk about for a little bit.
Yeah, so for anyone who's not familiar with Bel Veth, one of the big aspects of it is she has post level 6, you get like this empowered form, right? Where essentially you get way stronger and it lasts, like your true form lasts, depends on what you take. Like if you get like an enhanced form, it lasts longer. If you get the standard form, it lasts a shorter amount of time. So for example, I think it's like kills or a certain amount. Yeah, but regardless, like the whole point is you want to be in your enhanced form as much as possible, whether you're taking neutral objectives or you're taking kills, you get the void coral on the ground, you can use it and then become your empowered form, which is obviously stronger. But the thing with Bel Veth is he's like a high potential champion. You have infinite stacking attack speed. You're super mobile because your Q can be used in all 4 directions. I'm sure most people are familiar with that. And you can even reset it with your W, which is like this big knock-up, similar to like Kane W from Rust. And then you can just dash around a fight. And your E is like such a crazy ability. It's kind of like you turn into a turret and you do like loads of quick attacks. You get like extra lifesteal and you take 70% reduced damage. So you basically just need to get up close and then you can just like go crazy. And you can see Aki repositioning to use all those dashes. If you see that little circle next to the health bar, that is like the direction that the dashes are available. So then notice that every time you use ability, you get extra attack speed for a couple of attacks. Now, Cold taking a little bit too much damage there.
Yeah, but Winter's Bite doesn't come through for the final bit. Cold! Oh, come on. Come on, man. Well, the Ignite goes down from Mark, and he's like, it's fine. I'll drop a couple of pots myself. Love the fancy BM. We got some natural talents here, I'll say, on both sides of the rift. But, Orcs, I didn't thank you. So, thank you for giving us the Bel Veth little run.
Yeah, it's 60 seconds of true form if you take down a champion epic monster, so like champion of dragon. Yep. It's 3-minute true form if you take down Baron or Rift Herald, and that's when you get like these little like void, like think like Malzahar W, for anyone has seen it, like little void minions that spawn when minions die nearby, and then that has like insane pushing power. It's kind of like, if anyone remembers back in the day, Mordekaiser could kill dragon and then spawn the own dragon and you send it down mid and it would just take everything. And I think it was Mordekaiser had 100% win rate of Worlds and was banned like 97% of the time or something. Yeah, it's not that strong, but it's a lot of pushing power.
It is. Void Remora Orcs. That's what we got to remember, Think of Aloha Laura from Harry Potter. That's pretty much how I've been going with it. So we're going to get to that point in the game, of course. Already level 4 here. Aki continues to clear out. Hasn't had too much trouble here as bottom lane vision has been set up quite nicely. But now that Tian's here, Abel and Cold just have to back away. They know he's here. A ward's going to be dropped, but he has the rocket jump to get out. Good buffer. And Tian now makes himself known while Aki is just on the other opposite side of the map, making sure that he can continue stacking up to 6.
Yeah, Aki just have to keep farming in this situation and keep scaling up and try and become stronger. I feel like top esports, we've seen top lane, Wayward is fine. Mid lane, Knight hasn't had a ton of pressure, but is going to be favored early on. And bot lane, we saw Cold try earlier, but there's just not going to be too much to happen out of that all in. Now, I feel like it's like pretty obvious. Any game where nothing happens for a long time, Corki is vibing on. So yep. I really want to see top esports trying to set up for those early objectives, because it gets to the point where you're going to be contesting objectives through package. It makes it significantly harder. Soul was obviously a big point of contention last game. Top Esports can get some early dragons, or, I mean, more importantly, deny Heralds away from the...
But a flash in. Hang on. Bot is taking advantage of JackeyLove, who goes for a bit of a slide and glide, but able with a flash himself. Rocket jump, first blood. OMG Orcs are the ones that are vibing.
Yeah, I was talking about how the Braum is the safety tool to try and stop that from happening. Braum has to be there, right? Braum has to be there with you, and JackeyLove clearly didn't get the memo. So when I was saying I didn't expect anything to happen, I thought it'd be slow-paced. JackeyLove makes a bit of a mistake.
That is a great start for the Tristana lane, where you said that the longer the game goes on for OMG, the scarier it'll be. But we also know that Tristana through laning phase has a lot to explore. Orcs. Is it fair enough, right? Like, OMG now have a very big window there. Because maybe I don't have time to ask you, because they are going to try and gank mid. Knight has flash, but is not level 6 here for the Chaos Storm. Cold making the move as well, but Knight backs all the way away. Well, Tian wants the kill on mid, but is it worth diving for? I'm not sure.
Probably not, but he'll at least annoy him and force Creme to start his back again, so that's something. And we'll get the replay. I mean, I'm just going to be real. JackeyLove overstaying here. And the flash route means not much you can do. Cleanse comes out, but at that point, the dredge line is already connected, and then able to follow up as well, because you got the bomb fully stacked. So positive play, and you kind of see the power. Once you have that lockdown with the Nautilus, very easy for Trish just to jump on you in 100-0 if Braum isn't there.
That first blood enables Noon Quiver as well for OMG. Suddenly, bot lane Dragon becomes viable, but it looks like they started it, and with Knight moving down, with Tian now moving down as well, they don't want to contest this Orcs, and it looks like Top Esports will be able to secure and steal it from under their nose. And I was going to talk to you a little bit about, you know, why this is, right? You talked a lot about scaling. Not many tools here for objective control this early on for OMG.
Yeah, I think they're just kind of waiting for package. Once they have package, it gets easier. They can play for picks as well on the back of Able and Cold, and then they can play for poke, and they can play for the package power. But for the time being, they have to be really cautious, and Bel Veth kind of does want her true form available before you're looking for neutrals, so you can obviously secure it and get the true form. One thing to be said as well, I mean, I've already hit on it, the Herald. The Herald is so important, so I want to see Top Esports make like a really active effort to lean towards it. It's up in 50 seconds, so right now, they're posturing for a bot play. Cold, no flash, remember?
Yeah, no flash, but he still has a rocket jump. He needs to get out early, and Mark not finding too much here, but Tian, as he comes in, Orcs, that is awkward.
You know, Mark just misses the Q. That's it. Yep. You could have flashed in, autoed into Q, but the fact that they don't get the initial, like the stun stacking into Tian's stun means they don't end up getting the kills. So a lot invested there. Doesn't get much reward. Aki now level 6 on the top side. He is waiting for the Herald to spawn, I tell you. And I think that the one sad thing is that Creme doesn't have package till 10 minutes. So we could see OMG just posture and wait for the Herald, because they want to secure that so badly.
They really do. And look, he is backing for now, though. So just goes in for a quick steal. Not overstaying is welcome. Creme gets a shove through mid as well. Vision control will be there for OMG as Herald has now spawned. You can see Top Esports Orcs, they're not willing to let this one go with the couple of failings we've seen on the bottom side of the map.
Yeah, they're going to all squad together to answer this one. They are going to refuse to let this one go over. And it's kind of interesting because second Herald, normally not as valuable. Second Herald will also be super valuable in this game. So we get a full 5-man. Creme is coming over late. No package, obviously, this early in the game.
And he has no TP to get there either. Cold is getting away with the dredge line with a 2-man stack of concussive blows, and Top Esports, that early game strength, helping them out yet again. So Herald just taken, given, as Knight tries to move to mid, and OMG just walk back towards the bottom lane with, I guess, nothing in the end.
Yeah, so Top Esports happy. They denied the Herald. They got that first dragon as well. This is what they need to keep doing and keep it just denying objectives away, but particularly those Heralds. So now Tian has that in pocket, can potentially make a play somewhere if he needs to. We can see the state of the solo lanes, both of them about 20 CS up in favor of Top Esports. And this is expectation, as I said. Good lane matchups in both regard. It's only really bot that's struggling for Top Esports just on the back of that kill earlier.
Yeah, 10 CS there. Of course, JackeyLove not setting that up for success himself, but a good little point you've found out is that there's 30 CS top. It's not just like a benefit in lane. It's a massive CS lead. He crashed in the turret. It'll end up being 20, but still a really good start here from Wayward. As we look at bot, Able just picked up more plating. Orcs, this is a really good start for OMG, and what we said last game was that, you know, OMG, I guess around team fights and like their setup, it didn't make too much sense until it did. Until we got that 30-minute fight where Abel got resets. This time around, it feels like the early game is a little bit more strict and better routined, if that is a word. And they've got a better understanding of their win con.
Yeah, but I still think, like, as much as, you know, you can just, like, lean into the late game with this composition, there's still, like, issues with that, you know? If you get caught in, like, a big Gnarl into Vikto combo, it's going to be problematic. If JackeyLove gets fed on Zeri, we've seen what Zeri can do, so it's definitely not clean sailing. I think top esports are happy. They deny the objectives. They just need to maintain that, and they're going quite aggressive. Tian needs to ult out.
With a good Glacial Prison. Cold flashes fall for the depth charge. The dredge line doesn't connect, unfortunately, and Tian is able to get out with a flash. So OMG with the pick potential, but now a couple of ultis down because of it.
Yeah, a lot invested, but ultimately they get the flash from Tian, which, you know, has its own value, but still losing out in terms of pressure. One thing to note is the Herald's still taken away, so the fact that Tian has to heal up, doesn't have his little flash available, means it's harder to set up an ideal circumstance to place the Herald down. They were maybe looking for it mid as an option. That obviously won't be possible right now. It is 45 seconds until that dragon. If they want to try and set up for that, they could slam Herald mid, use it to try and get priority, and then lean into the second dragon of the game. You can see pings coming out from both sides. Remember, next time Creme resets, he will have package if he wants it.
Okay, well, maybe we'll take it because it looks like Arky has just picked up his first item as well. A little bit ahead in the jungle here on the Bel Veth, and I saw a recurve bow there, so I'm just going to explore the options once gold disappears from our screens. Vampiric Scepter. Okay. Vampiric Scepter, pickaxe here, Orcs. We only have components for now. The same could be said about Tian too.
Yeah, so just still trying to build up at this point. I don't think anyone's really, like, super combat ready as of this point. But, you know, OMG, they want this dragon. They're going to pick up their package, but it's quite late because the TP's already been burnt before. This is gone.
That's super late. Finding a fight after the fact. There's going to be no one left over. How about you in package usage, Orcs? Are you ready? Because that was the perfect game start to make you reminisce.
Yeah, and one of the issues with this situation is that you now don't have package for Herald. And I said before how much more important the Herald is than the dragon for Bel Veth. So
yep.
I actually think the correct play would have been waiting on the package until it got to Herald and then using it to secure that. But either way, you don't get the dragon. We do see a replay from before. I think this might have been when Creme was resetting for the package and then it got delayed, which is why we had such an issue who's late there. Now, Abel's going to get some more plate spot, but we finally get the Herald mid, and well, package will come in to defend.
There we go. But Herald still gets the charge all the same. Creme's package not doing much there, so disappointing to say the least, even though OMG have the gold lead. As they move in to converge and find this pick, Cold with the Hex Flash over the wall, but they're too far gone. Top Esports get out with a singular play of 160 gold apiece, and gold continues to be even here, and you can start seeing that Top Esports are finding these windows in multiple lanes. Even bot here with the Ultra Shock Laser connecting. JackeyLove's back on top, better plating for himself. Top was doing the same now. And so Orcs, you know, all three lanes at a reasonably good place, exiting this laning phase.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's fine, but I don't think OMG are suffering too much. You know, gold is still kind of even overall. It would be nice for them to get that second Herald, but we kind of seen, like, you know, what happened in game one is the top Esports were in control the whole time, and then that one fight turned it around. Definitely possibility for this to happen in this game as well. So top Esports cannot be disrespectful. And now Wayward might be caught out a little bit, or maybe just some heavy trading. Aki in the wings and Cold moving over could be scary.
Yeah, it could be, but that Glacial Prison needs to come down. Wayward in a Mega Gnar for now, and that ward, that'll spot out Arky, so Wayward will just clear back away. Cold still going over. Dredge line into a wall. That happens. And Wayward, of course, he drops the emote.
Yeah. Given that he will drop the emote, now doesn't have Mega, but should be able to stack it up. Triforce has come in. A lot of mythics across the board. This is going to be the big one. 30 seconds until that Herald. Obviously, both teams would love to have. And Creme, no package for this one. So we'll see how the setup comes in. JackeyLove is on the wrong side of the map, though. I don't like this play. I'm going to be real. The value of the Herald with the Bel Veth, I think, outweighs whatever JackeyLove can get here.
That enhanced Void Coral is going to come through, and as Cold sets up for the dredge line, Shanji's ulti missing. Maybe it doesn't matter anymore. A couple of those tools down. Azaki heads forward, looks for that knock-up once again, but doesn't find it. He's got a Blade of the Ruined King here, Orc, so feeling confident with one item. As they force him out for the time being, Top Esports need a bit of a steal as JackeyLove is going to trade the turret, but all of OMG still on this. Getting closer and closer and closer and closer, and this Bel Veth wants it badly as Cold sets up for the engage. Finds Rift Herald here, the enhanced Coral ulti mode here for Arky. It's an endless banquet for OMG if they find anything, but it's Reset City for Tian, making it even worse as Wayward's ulti says no. Arky doesn't get to play the champion, and Tian now a much better Tristana. He is 2-0-2, sets up the fight perfectly, and Top Esports do it without JackeyLove.
I think that's weird. I think I'm going to say that's weird. They get bot tower, they get mid tower, they don't get the Herald, but they get everything else. I think Top Esports fully satisfied with that one. Taking a 4v5 and winning. Tian getting the resets and just taking over that fight.
That was just such a simple fight here for Tian. As you said, Aux, resets came through and it was all over.
Yeah, I mean, initially, passive applied to Cold. He gets deleted. Reset comes in, Nautilus rotation abilities, connects on the Shanji into another reset. Then jumps on Abel once more. Easy one. And this is probably my favorite. The fact he gets the Braum passive is on Creme and he's playing Tristana. It just can't get better.
Oh, it's so nice to watch. I was also watching Arky because I'm like, man, here's the Bel Veth first fight. Got Endless Banquet. He got Gnar ulted into the wall, Gravity Field from Vikto, stunned him the first time. I don't know if it was Braum passive or it was another W from Wayward. He didn't move. Arky got to move approximately 2 seconds for that fight. So that feels really rough for OMG, and the gold lead springs forward to 5,000. This is just a now kind of like you're going 10-pin bowling. You're hitting spares, you're hitting strikes every single time, and Top Esports Aux with their items and hitting onto a second one feels pretty easy now to start taking over this game further.
Yeah, they're going to slam down the Herald top, but obviously really getting the result they wanted. And Wayward's going to do his best to defend here.
Yeah, the Glacial Prison comes through. Now, can they find him with a hop almost up and available boomerang throw?
Oh, the movement
steps
speed.
Forward and yep, away he goes. And Herald helping get the charge. That's good gold back for OMG, who have objective bounties. They're that far behind, but you lose the third dragon. You have to fight the next one, which will be at, what, 23, 24 minutes in the game.
Very early soul. I mean, this is this issue, right? They didn't get the first Herald. They didn't get any of the dragons. They got the second Herald, but obviously Aki instantly dies and loses the form. And then, yeah, 3 dragons secured for Top Esports and a massive lead. And we've already talked about how broken Infernal Soul is if you have a Zeri. Yeah, this is not looking like a good game for OMG. That's all I can say.
No, it's not. It started as a good one, though. It started as something that had a lot of control with Abel and Cold, finding a great kill to expose JackeyLove. But simply after one fight, after, you know, Orcs, I'm just going to say it for you. After not having the package on Creme and going for that Herald, Top Esports taking a numbers advantage fight or numbers disadvantage fight. And looks like we could be heading towards a game number 3. This feels like the most firm lead we've had today in an early game. And as you said, fighting Soul, you know, 4 minutes now. Top Esports looks like they have this one pretty firmly under control. Excuse me. And what do you do now?
Something you mentioned is that Top Esports seems a lot more volatile in spring. Like, if they had an early lead, it was given, like, it's hard to beat them, don't get me wrong. But there was plenty of times they threw away the lead. I feel like they've been more restrained in summer. Obviously, we saw last game was them, you know, trying to play a more front-to-back comp, not executing on it. I feel like here, I think you should be confident in them pulling this one out. It's really on OMG to find the miracle play. And it will be heavily based around that package. I think that's going to be such a massive factor on that next dragon fight. But for the time being, Top Esports is just trying to take as much as they can. You can see they found the mid prior. They lean heavily into the enemy jungle here. Allow Knight to crush this wave and pressure this tier 2. And they're just ready to contest. If anyone steps up here, they'll fight them.
I mean, like Shanji even, right? He's not that tanky at this stage, only with the Frostfire Gauntlet. As they walk on in, they clear out any of OMG's defensive vision. Azaki, yeah, he wants to invade, but Wayward's not going to let him, while Knight takes away the top side turret. This is clinical. This is clean. This is, what else starts with C? Orcs.
Crisp.
Clapping. Crisp. This is claps. This is just
creative.
Creative. This is creative from Top Esports. It's just so
Classy.
simply done. Thank you.
Cultured.
Okay.
Cultivated.
Right, you can keep going if you want, but, you know, Baron's up.
I'm struggling. Okay, I think I'm done. I don't have any more.
OMG can flip Baron Orcs. What do you think?
You know what? I don't even hate it. I feel like at this point of the game, I don't really Hysterics. This point of the game, flipping Baron might be the play. Because the problem is, if you fight that dragon, you know, even if you win the fight or like the fight goes even or whatever, you could just lose the soul. And now Wayward is caught out, so...
Okay, it's a good ulti set up as well. Aki's coming over the wall, but he won't have any contribution. Shut down to Creme. So all of a sudden, Aux, I need to ask you a little bit more about
and I'm
what
going to tell you, Hysterics, that pick means nothing at all.
Oh.
Because they didn't actually really burn anything from top esports. Wayward is going to be back up in 20 seconds. They're not going to be doing Baron in that time. And the dragon's not spawned yet, so... It's some gold. That's it. That is all they get from that kill. Unfortunately, not really amounting to more.
Okay, well, at least... I was going to say at least Wayward burnt Flash, but it was already down. Cold's the one who burnt Flash there too. Aki
yeah, and Aki being Ghost. Yeah.
Yeah, and he wasn't a part of it. Now Shanji's caught out. Good heartbreaker from Tian. Right on top of the Sejuanmi. No escape here as Creme goes over the wall. Creme's W was a little bit janky, but maybe he didn't want to be here. As Abel knew he could jump out and...
Oh, he definitely doesn't want to be here.
Wayward, yeah. Tian's going to walk forward as a very new champion. And with Soul in a minute 10, I mean, Creme now has no Flash too.
Yeah. So Creme no Flash, you know, more summoners burn. I don't think, like, the thing is with Shanji actually being down, it's a bit more significant because it's close to the dragon being up. Oh, they might look for Cold here. JackeyLove can jump across.
As well. Fly sky high. Aki trying to save this one, but his support goes down. The above and below, not really buying that much time. And
yeah.
OMG,
so the closer people die to the dragon spawning, the worse it is. This is pretty bad for top esports because, I mean, especially because it's cold. The support isn't up and available. So who's going to ward? There's no real vision in the dragon area. By the time cold respawns, top esports have reset and will be there. You're not going to have vision. You're going to be going in blind. This ain't looking good.
It's looking like game 3 is going to be a sure thing. You know, let's be real. The way OMG come back into this game, Aux, what, 15, 20 minutes of somehow living through Soul. But the problem is then there's Elder. And Soul's permanent as TP ward there. But top esports going to stop him. Package, though, Aux. Tell me more.
Package is definitely a solid tool that might help, but you really need to connect it on like pivotal members. Trap Knight against a wall, ideally. But a lot of summoners available. Oh, Cold looks.
He tries. At very least, he tries. The Shanji goes on in, and now with the package through from Creme, but as the double Valkyrie returns, Tian gets his first reset, and just like that, Shanji running away, Abel getting hit hard. Aki, unfortunately, as this Bel Veth has done nothing. As looks more like a squid running away at this point, and the void
it's like
squid.
Some calamari.
Oh yeah, look at that! Fry it up. It's going to be a delicious treat to take us to game 3.
And I feel like the rest of OMG going to get fried up now. There's Infernal Soul on the side of top esports. Yeah, it didn't feel like there was any headway. The package comes out from Creme, and importantly enough, JackeyLove actually flashed before it even connected. So one of the things is like if you get hit by the package, the burns on you for 2 seconds, slows you massively, and does a ton of damage. But because JackeyLove flashed before it even connected, it literally meant nothing. So OMG don't find the fight they need. Top esports continue the lead. They're gonna get Soul. They're gonna get Elder. And you know what? We don't really get to see the Bel Veth true form.
We've seen it once.
Look at the replay. So try and connect him to JackeyLove, doesn't manage to. And then here, Shanji goes for the ult. But then watch, the package cleansed, flashed out. So no burn hits Knight or JackeyLove there. And they can just dive forwards like this. Braum passive, fantastic with this composition. And you just have the resets coming in from Tian.
As easy as that. I mean, there's nothing left to say about this game. It feels like top esports kind of angry after the first one. And this has just been total dominance. Skirmish around Herald, game over from there. As top esports move up mid, OMG trying to pick an angle here with Cold Splash available. Tian walking in. Oh, he knows. He absolutely knows as he drops the ward. And yeah, OMG, a noble attempt here.
I love the emote back and forth that comes out as soon as the ward goes down.
Well,
by the way, JackeyLove's 3 levels up on Abel.
He is. Good ult. Hang on. The fight's coming through, and it's done. Abel's dead. Cold's about to die to the Chaos Storm. JackeyLove following Shanji. Aki once again Can't do anything. Okay. He pressed E. And
he's squatted, and that's it. He's squatted down next to the tower.
He's got no home. What else can he do? He set up a tent, and he's got to kind of live out his days here. As this will be a last defense. In 25 minutes, this game wasn't even close. This game wasn't even close past the Herald point. As Top Esports roam on in as a 5-man. Game 1 may have been hype, but Game 2, all I can say is that Bel Veth was made to look like an absolute strange, random I don't even know. Vel'Koz's cousin at this point. You know, from out of town and doesn't really fit in here. Aki not going to die, but the Nexus does. 25 minutes, a stomp, and I wonder if we're going to see Vel'Koz's cousin ever again.
Well, I think one thing to be said is, you know how I was talking quite extensively about like the true form and, you know, Herald being really important. Yeah, so having, you know, 3 losing lanes, having 3 losing lanes in a Bel Veth, not the play, I think is the lesson from that one. Maybe like, you know, I think if you flip junglers where, you know, you had Prio mid, Prio top, bot lane is a decent matchup because the Braum shuts down the Tristana and the Nautilus. I could have seen Bel Veth working with Top Esports compositions, you know, because they're able just to go towards the Herald and have a bit more strength, have the Prio. But it kind of felt like they were on the back foot from the start, and then Bel Veth never got to do things. And like, you know, the ideal Bel Veth experience is you're in the true form, you'd manage to maintain like permanent uptime or like close to, like you want to keep it going as much as you can. I think we got like 4 seconds of true form. That's gonna be a record for like lowest amount, even with it being such a new champion. I feel like it's struggle.
Yeah, he didn't get to do much at all. I mean, the early game was swift. The early game was nice. For the first 10 minutes of it, OMG was able to punish JackeyLove within the lane without his Braum. And then we get to Herald, and then it's such a massive flip. 5,000 gold in an instant with Herald play opening up the map for Top Esports as well. This is kind of the Top Esports we know and love. Their early game, you know, swift is a word we've used in the past. As we look through, it's just that bump at the second Herald. Aki doesn't even have a picture.
It's the fact that it's 941 damage, and then there isn't even a picture.
There's a missing ping in the middle.
Lord. That's how absent Aki was this game. That's how absent this champion was. They don't even bother to include the pic. Obviously, new champion, and I don't think we quite have the answers ready, but I just find that hilarious. It's too perfect. It's too perfect.
It feels so right.
You can see on the goal graph the point at which they got Herald, the game was over. Look at those stats, by the way. 0% KP, 3.5% damage. Wow. Wow.
Now we know why people aren't playing Bel Veth as much as the LPL. Like, it's a 1-game sample size, right? But
oh my God, sorry, that's too funny. That's too funny.
Cold doubled his damage, and he infinitely doubled his kill participation. So I don't think we're gonna see that again.
Okay. I just glanced over and I saw someone on Discord, and Aki couldn't even afford a picture with that much gold.
True.
Couldn't even pay for the picture. Oh man, that was something. That was something. I don't think we'll see Bel Veth again this series. I can say that much.
Well, you know what the ultimate insult would be? Tian picks it for game number 3.
That
would be
Lord.
the perfect rendition, and who knows how it would go. Anyway, we'll find out after the break. Final game of the night here for OMG versus